famous quote, right? Famous quote that a lot of people like to use, right? And recently, I had some people come on my page and tell me the same thing. Um, you ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. You ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just prove it to yourself. That's cool and all. That's cool. But I'm starting to think that that quote is kind of like played out now. And I'm going to explain why that quote, I feel as though it's played out. Of course, I have something to prove, not only to myself, but to the world. I got something to prove. See, I've been having people on the internet trying to talk down on me, and they've been doing it for a long time, and I proved them wrong every time. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they still got something to say, even after I prove them wrong. And I'm going to continue proving them wrong little by little, slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? I like to have a mystery behind myself. But that quote is played out. We definitely have something to prove. I definitely have something to prove, not only to myself, but to people in society. If you want to have a career, you want to have a job, you got to go to that job interview. You got to talk to the employer. You got to talk to the boss. You got to talk to the company owner, so on and so forth. You have to prove to that employer that you're qualified for this job. You have to prove it. You have to have a resume, right? You have to show them that you carry yourself in a certain way, and you have to show them that you're at least somewhat qualified to be a good a good employee, right? So you have to prove that. And if you don't prove that, then you might not be able to pay your bills or you might not be able to eat. Like I just enrolled in college. I start college. This ain't my first time going to college. This will be my second time going to college. When I go back to school, I got something to prove. I got to prove to my professors and my teachers. I got to prove to them that I'm ready to learn and I'm ready to work. And then I got to put in the work and I got to prove to them that I was paying attention. I was studying. I got to prove it. How do I prove it? I have to take tests. I have to take quizzes and I have to pass. So I got to prove something. I got to prove it. If I want to get a girlfriend or if I want to get a wife or if I want to just attract women in general, I got to prove to them that I'm worthy of that attraction. I got to prove it. I got something to prove. So this whole quote about you ain't got to prove nothing to nobody, that quote is played out. I understand it to an extent, but that quote is played out. Of course, we got something to prove. I got something to prove. Y'all might not have nothing to prove, but I got something to prove, man. Right? When an athlete or a music artist, a musician, a rapper, a singer, an athlete, they have something to prove. When Stephen Curry, when he laces up his sneakers and he gets on that basketball court, he got something to prove. Are you going to tell Stephen Curry, oh, you ain't got nothing to prove to nobody? Yeah, yeah, yes, he does. Yes, he does. He has something to prove. We always got something to prove. Always. Let's be real here. We always got something to prove. So people can lie to themselves, but we got something to prove. I got something to prove. You might feel like you ain't got nothing to prove. I got something to prove. And just like an athlete or just like an entertainer or an actor or a musician, I'm a content creator on YouTube and social media. So being a content creator is very, very similar to being a musician or a music artist or an actor or some type of entertainer. It's really kind of like in the same bracket. I can make music too. I'm not the best musician in the world. I'm not the best rapper in the world, but I know I could do my thing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm even thinking about taking up modeling. You know what I'm saying? And acting maybe one day. Who knows? got something to prove. And me being a content creator is kind of like in the same bracket as those things that I just named. So it's like I got something to prove. I got to prove to my audience that I'm worthy of them clicking on my videos and supporting me. I got to prove it. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to prove to people. If you don't prove to me that you're worthy of my support, then why should I go on your YouTube channel and support you? So I feel like that quote is played out. And that's my reasoning behind why that quote is played out. I got something to prove. I'm about to go take me a nap. I'm about to go lay down, take a nice little nap. And then I'm probably going to be back up at about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym to go work out and train early morning before the sun even comes up. And then when the sun come up, I already got my workout done. I already got my training session done. Now I can focus on something else and grind. You know what I'm saying? I got something to prove.